Okay. So we're gonna start in sitting, and when we come into a place of sitting, finding a really good support. So that means the feet are flat on the ground and the hips are on a firmer surface. So we don't want to be on too soft, because then the back will start to round and will start to kind of give into the surface, and then we won't actually have as much awareness as we could have with the firmer surface. And placing the hands on the thighs, we're going to start by very gently rocking the pelvis back and forth. And so what that involves is, it sometimes helps to start with drawing the belly button in and rounding the back, and then imagining as if you have a string pulling you forward, pulling the stomach forward, you reverse the arch in the back. So we're just going to do that very gentle mobilization of the lower back and the pelvis and the hips. Exploring the range of motion here. And see if you can accentuate this movement a little bit more by bringing the curve a little farther up, tilting the chin towards the chest, then reversing the curve, lifting through the chest, lifting through the chin, and squeezing those elbows back. So we're really opening through the chest here. And then again, reversing the curve, rounding the shoulders, chin to chest. But really initiating the movement here at the belly button. If you'd like, you can add in the breathing so that as the belly button goes in, exhaling, inhale as the belly moves out, reversing the curve, lifting the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades, lifting the chin. Just continue that movement, back and forth, pausing whenever you need to. And you might notice some cracks and pops. Might feel kind of good, really, just to start moving some of these structures around the spine. If everything moves around the spine, to include the shoulders, the arms, the fingers, the knees, the ankles, the toes. Okay, and then coming back to pause. And when you pause, see if you can find a space that's somewhat between the two extremes, and where you feel the sit bones really present, pressing into the surface, letting the shoulders stack over the hips. And notice if the sit bones are placed equally. See if you can really allow for both sit bones to press into the surface of the chair. And notice your breathing. Is the breath expanded? Are you able to bring it past the chest, or is it feeling really comfortable, subtle, somewhere at the chest at the moment? Sometimes when you do that movement we started with, it can really help the breath come a little deeper into the body. And something that's really, really great for helping the body stabilize, balance, and the lymphatic system to get rid of toxins in the body is to diaphragmatically breathe. And so we're going to do that movement again that we were doing before, where when we exhale, drawing the belly button in, we're rounding through the tailbone, and then that curve starts to move up through the spine, the chin coming towards the chest, the shoulders rounding. And then as you inhale, pulling forward with the belly reversing the curve, squeezing the shoulder blades back. So in this movement, we're really focusing on breathing. Letting the breath guide us, lead us. All thoughts, maybe even tension, fall away. You may notice that my hands are moving up and down the thighs. That just helps facilitate the movement. So as the belly is being drawn forward, I'm inhaling, squeezing the shoulders. The hands are sliding up the thighs. And as I exhale, drawing the belly in, the hands are sliding away towards the knees. We'll do that 2 more times in each direction. And coming to a neutral position again, sitting up straight, shoulders stacked over the shoulders, or shoulders stacked over the hips. We're going to do a rotation here. So letting the hands define the movement here, sliding the left hand towards the groin, the right hand towards the knee, letting the body follow as the hands move in opposite directions. Inhaling at the very end of the motion. And as you exhale, move the hands in the other direction and keep going in the other direction. Inhaling here at the end of the movement. Exhaling, coming around fully to the other side. Pause, and then inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So let your body do this a couple of times. We're going to pause in the center for a moment. You're taking care of your body. You're noticing if there's any twinging or any discomfort. And so see if you can make any adjustments that you need to or don't go as far. We're going to reverse the breathing here. So as we turn in the opposite direction and started. So for me, I started rotating to the left. I'm going to rotate to the right now. I'm going to inhale here. And exhale as I turn to the left. I think I might have gone back to what I was doing earlier. So if you notice doing that, see if you can pause and reverse it. So I'm going to, for me, I need to inhale as I rotate it to the right and exhale as I rotate to the left. And coming back to center. I'm pausing here for a moment. Again, feeling the body. You may notice that there's starting to be a warm up here in the lower belly, maybe even in the shoulders. So coming back to the shoulders here, allow for the shoulders float up towards the ear, inhaling as we do so. And then exhaling, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, really increasing the space between the shoulders and the ears. Inhale up. Exhale down. We'll do this 3 more times. Now we're going to do the inhale, exhale again, but this time rotate the head to the left. So as you inhale, as you exhale, rotate the head to the left. Inhale as the shoulders elevate. Exhale, turn the head to the right. So continue that movement of inhale, shoulders lift. Exhale, turn the head. And you might notice that one side might feel a little jerkier than the other, or maybe it doesn't feel as smooth, and that's okay. Notice what your body is and really let yourself soften against any kind of self-talk that might be in the background as you do these movements. It's okay if you lose track of what you're doing with your breath. Just get back on the pony and ride. And so coming back to center, pausing here for a moment, noticing the side parts of the neck. You can very gently bring the hands towards the armpits and pause here for a moment. Taking a moment to let the hands rest on the sides of the chest here, fingertips in the armpits. Maybe offering gratitude for our body, for being alive, for doing what we needed to do to take care of ourselves. And maybe from the gratitude of finding the parts of ourselves that really work well, that we might have not even known about. And how sometimes when we're forced to take action and our choices seem to be narrowed, the possibility of what is actually working becomes clearer. So in this case, the lymphatic system, the shoulders being able to elevate and the neck being able to turn. We're going to very gently start to allow for the fingertips to pulse in towards the deepest part of the armpit, as if it's a breath of water, a shore of water, the tide going out and then releasing, coming. Tide coming in, so as the fingers come deep, the tide is coming in. And as the fingers release, the tide is going. And you can do one side at a time or both sides. If you're just learning this, one side is fine. You're welcome to pause this recording and come back to it. It's a very just gentle pulse. If you've ever been to a beach or to a great lake and felt the waves, that's really what we're tuning into here, the waves of our own body, our own system. These waves are actually tied into the larger waters of the earth. That connection is always there, even though we're not aware. Great. And releasing that, we're going to go back to this movement of the shoulders and the head. So in this particular way, we're going to inhale, raising the shoulders up. And as we exhale, letting the head the ear fall towards the left shoulder as the shoulders depress away. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder. It's okay to slow the movement as slowly as you need to, really letting yourself feel the body, experience yourself in this new and renewed capacity. With every breath you take, there's a renewal possible. It's happening. Now we're coming back to center. Very gently, we'll do some shoulder rolls here at any point. If you want to pause, we're going to roll this right shoulder forward and back. Left shoulder forward and back. So very gentle rolls here, forward and back. Okay, and then bringing the elbow down along the line. And if you can extend that arm now, so if you're reaching back behind you, coming forward, and reaching behind you. So we start with the elbow, and then the hand reaches back, and then comes forward. The elbow comes up, and then the hand unfurls, reaching back. So you'll notice that when you do that, it moves the shoulder blade and the space between the ribs just a little bit more. Releasing any tension and any compensatory movements or patterns of movement that we sometimes do to protect ourselves, which is totally fine. This is the body's natural self-defense, but at some point that natural self-defense needs to know that it's okay to let go, that you are safe. So coming back to face forward, pausing with that thought, you are okay now. I am okay now. Allowing your breath to absorb that feeling, what that is. We're going to reverse that roll now. So rolling the shoulder forward. So right shoulder goes back and forward. Left shoulder goes back and forward. So taking your time to go through this, if it feels really unknown and awkward, sometimes that means slowing down. And sometimes it can mean maybe speeding up, getting through the movement until you can slow it down. So there are different needs the body has in every given moment. Really listening here. And then we'll use the elbow. So the elbow is drawing back and then forward. Drawing back and then forward. And so as we do this, let your body face forward so that the trunk is nice and straight. And if you'd like, the head can turn to see yourself do it initially. But then letting the head, the trunk, face forward as you let this elbow float up and around. And then we're going to unfurl the elbow. So the elbow leads, drawing back and then reaching back, and then turning the palm up reaching forward, up and forward and down. So elbow reaching back, and then the arm unfurls, the arm comes up and over. Palm up, reaching up, and then the palm leads back with the elbow, unfurl the elbow, palm up, arm up, down. So to do this movement, there's rotation in the trunk, but the head is still facing forward. And then coming to a pause. Bring the arms down beside you. We're going to very gently turn the arms in and out of the sockets. The elbows are straight. Doing this movement, the arms. And really finding a place where you're not feeling numbness or tingling. If you have any carpal tunnel issues and the arms are up, you might start to feel some tingling. So letting the arms be down by the side first. Let yourself have that movement. Then very gently bring your arms up. See how you do. You know, sometimes there might be a little window where it feels like this space here around the shoulder might feel tricky. But then when you come up a little higher, it feels okay. So notice for yourself where those tricky sensations are and where they are not. And then bringing the hands forward. So the hands are in a loose fist here. Going to very gently rotate them in and out, coming up over the head to the ears, and coming down. And coming forward. And coming down. So the arms hang, swing. The fingers are relaxed. And bringing the hands to the thighs. And pause for a moment. Ask yourself if there's anything that you need. Maybe a sip of water. Take a deep breath. Maybe you might need more movement. You're welcome to do this in standing. Maybe you need to pause and rest. So a little bit more movement for the upper body, and then we're going to go into standing. So bringing the arms in front of you, elbows in front, and allow the fingers to be soft, and then do some very gentle movement here of the wrists. Now, if having your elbows up like this is challenging to your shoulder or to your wrists, try bringing the elbows down by the side and try it that way. And if that's still challenging, you can do this with arms by the side. So the most flow is going to occur with the arms overhead. So also try that. Switching directions. Bringing the arms down. So the fluid, any extra inflammation in the wrists can come from fluid not being able to flow. So when you have the arms over the head, then of course more fluid is able to move down. But if you have any shoulder or neck issues, that can be challenging. So really exploring and finding what's working for you. So we're going to go into standing. And do some movements for the body, for the legs. And to start with our legs wide apart, feet turned out a little bit. Really take a moment to press the hips forward and feel the glutes contract here. And bring the hands by the side and very gently side bend here. Notice if the hips are feeling twingy at all. If so, turn the feet forward. And we can continue the movement that way. We're going to side bend over to the left, raising that elbow up, reaching up and looking down towards the left foot. And then letting that arm come all the way over, that top arm all the way over the head. And breathing into the space between the ribs. Bringing that right arm down and swing that right arm forward in front of the body, turning both your feet to the left. And you're in a lunge position now. That back heel is up a little bit. The left knee is centered over the ankle. Sweep the arms up. Pause. Exhale, the arms down. Sweep. Pause. Exhale. So 3 more times. Synchronizing the breath. The movement of the arms. If you have a chair or a wall or a table in front of you, you might want this for stability. We're going to shift our weight over this left thigh, coming onto the left leg and pointing the back toes. Lift that back foot up. Raise and lower. Sweeping that right foot forward to meet the left and press yourself to standing. We'll pause here in Tadasana. Just really feeling the body, the openness of the chest, lifting towards the sky, and a contact of the feet on the earth. So this pull in equal and opposite direction of the heart towards the sky and the feet towards the earth. We're going to step back with this right foot again. Turn both feet to face forward. And we're going to side bend over to the right side now. That left arm up towards the sky, looking down to the outer right foot. And then bringing that left arm up and over. Breathing into the side rib here between the armpit and the hip, expanding that space. Then sweeping that left arm down, coming up, straight up, sweeping the left arm towards the right, turning the feet towards the right. Inhaling, arms up. Make sure that right knee is centered over the ankle. That left knee is pressing straight back and that tailbone is swooping under as the palms face each other. Exhaling the arms down. Inhaling up. Inhale, pause. Exhale. Hands coming to knee, hinging forward. Over that right leg and raising that left heel behind you. On that left foot next to the right, coming into standing. We're going to make our way down to the floor, doing a forward fold here at the hips. If you like, you can pause with the arms at the seat of the chair, stepping back with one knee and then the other, bringing the hands towards the floor. And in this place, curl the toes under. We're going to press down through the hands and press back and press forward. Now, for some of you, if you have any wrist issues, it might be challenging to do it this way. One modification is to bring the arms down so that you're resting on your forearms and curl the toes under and press back into a dolphin pose. For some of you, you can do the downward dog with pressing back. So finding that position that works for you. But anyone with any wrist issues or swelling, it's okay to press down through the forearms here. Sometimes it helps to link the fingers. So that we're putting our weight equally through the wrists, the forearms, the elbows as we press back. We're going to bring this right knee forward towards the elbows and bending this back leg here, coming up into sitting. So for some of you, this might be a real challenge. So make sure you put a cushion underneath your hip to lift up your hips a little bit past the knees, because if you have tight hips, this can be an issue. You can also sit in a chair so that that rotation can happen. So you're also able to sit like this. So sitting in this place, both hands are on either side of the knee. We're going to hinge forward here. And then you can feel a stretch in the outer right hip. Allow yourself to fall forward. Pressing yourself back. Sitting, bringing the hands behind you, allowing to reverse the direction of the legs. Hands are on either side of the knee, letting yourself fall forward here. Moving the arms over towards the top of the mat. So the hands are together, the weight is on the forearms. We're going to shift our knees over underneath us, curling the toes. So the knees are under the hips, curling the toes under and pressing yourself back into the stone. Then kind of forward over the arms, you want to lower down the arms or the forehead down towards the floor, bringing the arms down by your side. And turning the palms so that they're facing the floor. Walk the fingers up the sides, towards the top of the head, and then down. So we're doing snow angels here on our stomach. If you like, you can just wriggle the fingers on the floor. Now, a more advanced position for this is the arms and the head are off the floor, pressing the pelvic bone into the floor so that you're getting some stability and really activating the muscles in the shoulders and the back, but especially these wing muscles that can get weak. And coming down with the arms by the side, forehead resting. We're going to do some pulses here. So pinkies up towards the sky, pressing back. And coming to a pause, the arms on either side of the head, elbows bent. Making your way onto your back. Bringing the knees up, straighten the legs, arms up, so the bones of the trunk settle on the earth as the arms and the feet are raised towards the sky. And bending the knees, bringing the feet down, pausing there for a moment. That last movement of the day, we're going to bring our arms up, shoulder height. If you can put them in a cactus position with the elbows bent. the arms resting on the floor. Now that can be hard for some people, the chest can be tight. So placing a pad, a pillow under the hands, if the hands are up off the floor, that's totally fine, but you really wanna support the long bones here. Also, if the chin is tilted really high, you want to have a pillow under the head so the chin can be in a somewhat neutral position so it's not tilted too toward the chest or too high. And in this place, bringing the knees up towards the chest very gently, moving them back and forth. And tilting the knees up a little bit more towards the chest. We're going to roll them to the right and lengthen that left elbow. So if you're reaching out to take a hand to your left, but looking towards your right, straighten that right arm as well. If you're getting numbness or tingling in the arms as you do this, you can always lower the arms down a little bit, or you can roll them down so that the palms are not facing down. You're facing down. That might help a little bit. And if that still doesn't help, you can bring the hands to the trunk and rest the hands on the trunk. And breathe. Really allow for this breath to expand the space between the ribs. Have this, bringing the knees up to center. Pausing here for a moment. Knees over to the left. Reaching out with that right arm. Looking towards the left. And you might notice that one side might be tighter than the other. It's also helpful to make sure the hips are stuck underneath the chest so that the hips aren't going too far over to the left or the right. Again, you can place a hand on the trunk, see if that helps any symptoms you might be having. Over to the ground and pause here for a moment just to integrate our movements here, let go of the remaining tension in the body. Relax the toes, eyes, and the pelvis. releasing the belly and the chest, arms and the hands. Releasing the neck and the forehead, the jaw. Softening and widening. Transition from the fingers and toes. Stretch the arms and the legs. As you roll onto your side, just taking a moment to pause in a side lying position, just let the bones settle here. And very gently pressing yourself up into sitting. Taking a moment to acknowledge all of what you were able to do today. Thanks for what is working. Maybe the fingers, the toes, the elbows, the ears, muscles between the eyebrows, cheeks. All that is working that has brought you forward to this moment. Mostly the heart. Seat and flow of our emotion and nutrition to the body. Nurturing spot. Thank you, heart. Be well and all be well. All. Hearts thrive. Thank you, everyone.